Uh, Congrats on getting all your benchmark tests done this week. If you haven't got them done, please just tell your coach Monday we can redo the squats or the bench or the deads. Let's just get them done so we make sure we have them. If you did get them all done, congrats. And let's talk about the results. So the important reason why we do these strength benchmarks, other than just setting personal bests, which we used to think was the only reason we do strength work and testing. Now we know that we need to maintain our strength as we're aging. So the fact is we lose 1% of our strength each year after the age of 40. That's 10% per decade. So if you can bench press 100 pounds at 40 years old, you are bench pressing 70 pounds at 70 years old. Okay. If you can only bench press 50 pounds at 40 years old, you're bench pressing 30 pounds at 70 years old. So we want to make sure that we get our strength as high as we can and we maintain it for as long as we can. Strength or the loss of strength is one of the biggest reasons for decrease in quality of life as we age and prevents us from doing the things we love. We don't maybe feel it yet. Some of us maybe do, but we want to maintain our strength so we can play golf, play pickleball, play with our kids, play with our grandkids, all of those important things. And like you guys found out this week, we don't have to be power lifter strong, but we need to be functionally strong so that we can live that quality of life later on. I think I heard some of the ladies saying, well, I only need to be able to squat 85 pounds based on my age and my gender. And yes, that's a fact. And if I had another 60-year-old lady come into the gym and I put 85 pounds on the bar, they would feel like the weight of the world was on their shoulders. So I just want to, communicate the importance of how strong you guys are and how important that is. So next up, those things that we talked about: play with your kids, play with your grandkids, play golf, play tennis, play pickleball, gardening, cooking, cleaning. Those are things that we have to do, not that we want to do. So that's what we're working for. That's why we're doing it. So what are the benchmarks? Squat, bench press, deadlift, grip strength. These are essentially 4 key functional tests that, when all completed, give us a great understanding of our strength from head to toe. And these are movements that we see in everyday life, sitting down and standing up, whether it's on the couch, whether it's on a chair, whether it's on the toilet. Squatting is one of the key movements in life. Bench press, upper body strength, picking something up, pushing something, catching yourself in a fall. That's what the bench press is for. So we have that upper body strength to do that. Deadlift, picking up something off the ground, moving something, a table, a chair. Okay, deadlift is a huge one for importance. And then grip strength is known as a measure for posture. Also for falls is a huge one. So you're not susceptible to breaking your wrist or your arm. And you have the strength to catch yourself if you do trip and fall. So all of these tests have a very important meaning and a very important purpose. On that note, if for whatever reason right now you can't do a full range squat because of knee pain, because of hip pain, because of back pain, or you can't do a bench press because of shoulder pain, or you can't do a deadlift because of back pain, that's okay. But these are all the reasons why we're doing these tests, because we then want to make that a key area of focus moving forward so that we make sure that down the road that doesn't turn into something more serious. So if for whatever reason you couldn't do one of the tests this week, that is a good reason to make this at the end of the challenge, when we set goals and we set focus, is to make that one of your focus points so that you can work on improving your back pain or your knee pain or your shoulder pain. So just wanted to reiterate that point. If you couldn't do one of the tests, make sure you highlight that and make a note of it so we have that moving forward. Those are the strength benchmarks. Now, this is the chart that we see in the gym. The main focus of today's webinar seminar is to help you understand this. So I have some really good examples of what are optimal health targets. So the first example I have, you guys can read it here on the screen. If I am a 52-year-old male that weighs 185 pounds, I look over at the chart and I say, okay, I'm between 50 and 59 years old, and I'm doing a back squat. So I want to be able, the first column is the male metrics. The second column is the female metrics. So 50 to 59 squat. I want to be able to squat my body weight. Okay. So I think I did this wrong, and that was to make sure you're paying attention. But a 52-year-old male would actually be, I messed this up. 10%. I might have messed it up for my example. So at 40 years old, you want to be able to squat 125% of your body weight. The ladies want to be able to squat their body weight. And then I'm taking 10% off per year. And then 1% per year, 10% per decade. I think I see where my mistake is. I think I'm at 125 and I go down to 110%, which is actually a 15% drop. So the boys chart is a little skewed because I only have one decimal place here. But this is good because we can see this here. So the 52-year-old male would go 125% minus 12%, okay, for 12 years. He would be 112. That's why I have it right on my example. 113% of the body weight. And that would put him at 210 pounds for his optimal back squat. Sorry if that's a little unclear because of the chart, but let's use a bench press example. The second example here I have written, a 48-year-old female that weighs 148 pounds. Okay. She wants to target 67% of her body weight, which is 100 pounds for bench press. So I go over to the chart for bench press, which is the first column, and I go down to the 40 to 49, and I see that females want to squat or bench press 68% of their body weight at 40, they want to do 75%. And then as they get older, 1% per year they take off. So that's 8 years off of 75. 75 minus 8 is 67. So they want to squat bench press 67% of their body weight. 148 times 0.67 is 100 pounds. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. Your spreadsheet, the Fit Life scorecard, will do that calculation for you because you've already entered your age and your gender. So it will put your optimal range in there, and it will tell you what you should be, and then you'll enter what number you actually got. So let's do two more examples here. One for the deadlift. A 38-year-old male that weighs 210 pounds. At 38, we're at the youngest age. So we want to deadlift 1.5 times our body weight. So 1.5 times 210 pounds is 315 pounds is their optimal deadlift. Okay. And then grip strength, the last one is the far right column. A 62-year-old female that weighs 165 pounds will hold 80-pound dumbbells, or they'll want to hang for 90 seconds. Okay. So today, for the first time, I tried the dumbbell hold instead of the bar hang, and I did it at half my body weight. So I weighed in at 200 pounds for the body comp last week. So I did 100 pounds in each hand. And I was able to do almost exactly the same time as I did for the bar hang last time we did our optimal health testing. So it was a cool comparison. First time doing that. Is there anyone that wants me to quickly run their metrics that might be unsure about some of those calculations? So then the other component, if you do want me to do that, I can do it. You could just put it in the chat if you would rather. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to click on the 1 rep max calculator here, because a few of you asked, what if I did? Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see the 1 rep max calculator instead of the presentation? Okay, awesome. So for the 1 rep max calculator, we have, this is in the case of you did a 3 rep max or a 5 rep max for any of the lifts. So what I would do here is I would pick deadlift, and then I would say I did 200 pounds for the deadlift. And instead of writing 1 repetition, I would write in, let's say 5. Okay. Then I'm going to hit calculate. And it's going to tell me that if I look down here, that although I did 200 pounds for 1 rep or 5 reps, sorry, it actually has me at 232 pounds for 1 rep. And then you can look down the chart a little bit at 86% is 200 pounds. So for deadlift, they're assuming that's for 5 reps, it's about 86% of your 1 rep max. So all you have to do is punch in your current, let's reset it. Okay, so let's do another example here. Braulio, I saw your message. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to do those examples right now, okay? So let's do a squat. Let's say I did 105 pounds for 5 repetitions. Then I would go back to my chart. This one says 105 pounds is approximately 83% of my 1 rep max, which means for 1 rep, I could have got 126 pounds. So I would enter 126 into the spreadsheet, okay? Into the Fit Life scorecard. And then I would know in the future, going forward, I could assume that these are the numbers that I could be targeting in my future workouts, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Okay, and then let's do one more example for bench press. Let's say for bench press, I did 75, let's say 85 pounds for 5 repetitions. That has me at 87% for 5 pounds. And then for 1 rep, it has me approximately at 97.7 pounds. Okay, so if you guys can look in the chat quickly. So that's how you use that calculator. I want you guys, if you did a 3 rep max or a 5 rep max for any of the lifts, you have to go into the calculator to get your 1 rep max, because that is the number that you're going to enter into your Fit Life scorecard. Okay. Now, am I back on the presentation? Can you guys confirm that? Okay. So Braulio gave me his numbers. Okay. He is a 43-year-old male. He weighs 170 pounds. If you're looking in the chat, you'll see that he was getting pounds and kilos mixed up. So he weighs 170 pounds. For his squat, he would want to squat for the optimal range. Okay, so at 40 years old, remember he wants to squat 125% of his body weight. He's 43 years old. So we subtract only 3%, 1% a year. So we go down to 122%. Okay. So we go 170 pounds times 1.22. Ideally, he's really, really close, but ideally he would like to be able to back squat 207 pounds for one rep. He back squatted 198. Would I still consider that within the ballpark of that range? Yes, for sure. But in the future, he could try to get that up to over, let's say, 205 or 210 pounds. But he's not getting any younger. So over time, if he can maintain that, that's still a great target to be working towards. So he should be happy with that. Let's do his bench press example. So for bench press, he wants to be able to bench press his body weight, ideally. So this one. Sorry, was that a question?
I'm good. I'm way above my average for my age.
Oh, good. Okay.
My bench press is 100 pounds. My squat is 145, or actually 165 at my best. So my deadlift is 225, and my grip strength is 1 minute and 50 seconds, which is more.
Nice. Is that me, Quinn, talking?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was off mute. I was talking to my daughter. She was asking me.
Thank you for sharing.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
That's fantastic. I know you would love to share with everyone your information. So thank you for doing that.
No, I didn't know. My daughter asked because she's watching the thing with me. And she's like, how much can you do, Mom? I was like, oh my God.
Good job.
Ignore that, please.
Quinn is very humble, so I was happy to hear her in secret sharing her results. Okay, so Braulio for bench press, since he's a triathlete, he doesn't get to work too much on his upper body strength, but he's starting to prioritize his Wednesday workouts. So he bench pressed, he bench pressed 132 pounds. But in a perfect world, he would want to bench press 97% of his body weight. So 170 times 0.97, 164 pounds. So that's an area of focus. So Rhonda just asked a great question. How much do I deduct for my age? The group starts at 60. So let's go back to the starting of the chart. We're going to have to make the chart one bigger in the future as we all age. We'll have to go 70, but we can use the number. So at 40, let's say that's 100% of the metrics. At 68, we are 28% less, 28%. Okay, so say for bench press, I was at 40, for the ladies, I want to do 75%. So 75 minus 28, you want to be able to do 47% of your body weight. Okay, for bench, 47%. For squat, you want to be able to do 100 minus 28, 72%, 72% of your body weight. And for deadlift, you want to do 125 minus 28. You want to do 97% of your body weight. Okay, makes sense? So that's a good example for some of our older ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so just go to the top of the chart and minus your age from 40, and then you know your exact percentage off. And Braulio, yes, More upper body strength would definitely help with your swimming strength. Okay, so hopefully those examples with Braulio are helping you guys understand. Me Quinn definitely understands. She shared that with us earlier. Thank you, Me Quinn. So I wanted to make sure that chart was loud and clear. Does anyone else have any more questions on this chart before we move on to the next part? This is kind of the Fit Life scorecard kind of is doing this math for you. That's why it's such a great tool and why we built it, so you don't have to worry about it. So, but for your own understanding, this is how it works. Can you edit who? Oh, Me Quinn would like us to cut that audio out. I think it's great that she shared her results. Would you like to share them again, Me Quinn? Yes, we can make sure that we don't make it go viral. Okay, anyone else have any more questions, or I'll move on to if possibly, you know, Me Quinn clearly hit her strength targets, but if you're more like Braulio and strength is something that you should focus on moving forward, then here, or it's just an area that you want to focus on personally, here are some of the key areas that you can focus on. So we picked the 5 key areas, and what we want you guys to do is do an honest assessment on ranking yourself out of these 5. So one of the best ways to improve your strength, obviously, is trying to do at least, or 3 times per week strength workouts. And we put with a purpose. So what we mean by with a purpose is, now that you have these benchmarks, you can use something like that 1 rep max calculator to help you understand that when we program 5 reps, what number should you be working at for those 5 reps? If we put 80%, or if we put 82%, you now know I can go to 82% of my max and I can use that. And that's what, instead of just maybe putting some weight on the bar that you're not sure about, you can put the exact amount. WattUp is an awesome tool because it actually will calculate that for you. If we put 85%, it will actually tell you that number, as long as you put in your benchmark of your 1 rep max, or your 3 rep max, or your 5 rep max. Okay. So strength workouts. 2, nutrition. We're going to dig into nutrition in the upcoming weeks, but the simplest way of improving strength is by making your muscles healthy and strong and eating 1 gram per pound of protein per day. So if I weigh 150 pounds, I want to eat 150 grams of protein. Now, it used to be thought that as we get older, we don't need as much protein, but a lot of the research is saying the exact opposite. And they're actually encouraging us as we get older to try to increase that protein, because it helps with muscle tissue repair. It helps with our joint health. It helps with our brain health, so many things. So no matter how old you are, we want to try to target that 1 gram per pound of body weight. We will talk more about this in the nutrition section, because the more detailed explanation of this is 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So you did that in your body comp. So instead of just per pound of body weight, it's actually per pound of lean body mass. Okay, so make note of that. I'm not assuming that any of us are going to be way over on protein. It's not, it's like that is the minimum that we want to get, even if we weren't working out. If we are working out, we can even go up higher than that for amount of protein. Okay, the other thing is other supplements that are great. Well, protein, of course, is good because it is hard to get 1 gram per pound in a day by eating just food. We all know how challenging it is to eat even like 30 grams of protein at breakfast, or 6 ounces of chicken or beef or pork or fish. So protein is a great supplement to add. Usually around your workout time, 1 scoop is about 25 grams of protein. Creatine is one of the oldest supplements around, that's been tested, and for a long time it got a bad reputation because it was only for bodybuilders or power lifters. But now there's tons of research that's saying men and women should be taking creatine every day or almost every day in a moderate dosage to help with muscle tissue repair, joint health, and brain health. So a supplement that if you're not taking, something to definitely look into. BCAAs are branch chain amino acids. Those ones are amino acids are the building blocks of protein. There's 9 amino acids in 1 gram of protein. So BCAAs are what we usually use during our workout, to sip on while we're exercising, because that gives our muscles some fuel to work with while training. So that's the idea. Protein is usually used after workout. BCAAs are usually what's in our electrolyte and amino acid during workout training for hydration and muscle. And then glutamine is an awesome recovery supplement if you're having a lot of muscle soreness or a lot of joint pain. Glutamine is one of the top supplements that's also been around forever, that goes along with that. So 4 really good supplements that you should consider. Sleep. Sleep is the time where our muscles and our brain recover and repair. I know this the hard way because there's a little toddler that has affected my sleep for the last couple of years, and my muscle tissue repair has been affected because of it. So she slept through the night last night, so that's a win. And prioritizing your sleep, quality and quantity, can help a ton with keeping that muscle mass and strength up. And then using WADUP. WADUP's a great tool, especially now that we have our benchmarks. We can use it on a daily basis to know if we're pushing ourselves in our strength workouts. So think about those 5 areas. Think about which ones you're doing awesome in, and think about which ones you could improve in. Okay, so make that ranking out of 5. If you're, a 1 out of 5 on this, you have an awesome opportunity to get better. If you're already a 3 or 4 or 5 out of 5, then keep up the hard work. Next up, this is coming near the end of the presentation. Unlock more. So one of the key things we wanted to help you guys with in this challenge was, identifying the areas of focus and really helping you guys unlock that next step. If strength is something that you really want to work on and focus on, or need to work on and focus on, then here are 3 really good areas to help you unlock. So improving form and technique. So you can book a one-on-one session with any of your LP coaches. We don't talk about this a lot, but it is a great chance to work on form and technique in a one-on-one setting. And here's what some of our coaches specialize in. So Coach Brock has taken an awesome certification on Olympic weightlifting, and he also is very passionate about it himself. Coach Ree, who some of you have met, is an expert on squat, bench press, and deadlift. She's taken multiple courses on these lifts, along with all other strength work, and she could really help you identify if you have any pain with these movements, or if you have any weaknesses with these movements. She could help you with those. High Rocks, Coach Ian and Coach Lisa have both been our go-to High Rocks coaches. So look to them for any help with building some strength in some of those top High Rocks movements. And then Coach Meg is our go-to in hypertrophy. She's known as the booty building specialist. So she can help you with building some strength and lean muscle mass if that's something you want to focus on. And then the next part is reducing pain and improving mobility. So sometimes the hardest part about strength is we just have too much pain to really unlock the strength that we might have. So if that's more of your case and pain is holding you back from some of these lifts or some of your overall strength, then look to not only Kyle and Kathleen, who can do a nice full body assessment with you and help you come up with a game plan. Kyle is our chiropractor and Kathleen is our physio. They both work out of the gym to help our members with this type of stuff. Also, Coach Kat is a kin grad from University of Waterloo, and she has a really crazy passion for helping older adults with shoulder pain, knee pain, back pain, and helping them improve their balance, mobility, and strength as they age. So she's working with a few of our older ladies in a one-on-one setting. And if that's something that you're interested in doing every once in a while, we can chat with her. And then Coach Laura Lee took an awesome certification, which is a yoga certification. It's yoga for athletes, and a great way. During COVID, we had some online classes, and she would love to do a more one-on-one type setup if that was something you're interested in to improve your strength, stability, and mobility. And then last but not least, just that self-analysis that we talked about, ranking yourself in those 5 areas and seeing which ones could really use some improvement. So, are there any questions? We can go back to any of the slides if you want to go over some of your numbers, or we can talk in more detail about just some of those areas of focus. If you have any questions, you can put your question in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask.
Hi, Adam. It's Allison. I have a question.
Yeah, for sure.
There's lots of columns in the spreadsheet. Could you show us where to put some of our numbers for this week?
Yes. Okay, let me fill out your submission for week 2. So where is, as you can see, if you have any OCD, you'll see my tabs are extensive and you probably will freak out if you see them. But I'm going to go to Fit Life Scorecard. You mean the Fit Life Scorecard, right, Allison?
Yes.
Fit Life Scorecard. Okay, so here we go. Just to make sure, can you see the Fit Life Scorecard right now? Okay.
Yes, I can.
So let's look at the top row. So number 37,806, female, 42, 66 inches. We'll talk more about this activity level and number of workouts per week as we go. But last week we entered in our body composition and all of our metrics around that. It gave us our lean body mass and our BMR. If you want to use that lean body mass for your protein intake number, you can. Okay, but Michelle's going to talk about that more in our nutrition one. And then, oh yeah, it even tells you, look at this, amazing. It even tells you protein requirement, carbohydrate, but we haven't added your activity factor yet. So just be patient. We'll get to that. So I've scrolled all the way over and I see that some of our members have entered in some of their data. So for 37,806 target grip strength, because she is 42 years old, is the full, can you see it here? Does it highlight when I highlight? Can you see that? Okay, so
Yeah, we can see.
Target grip strength is the target. Her actual score was 90 seconds. So it gave us minus 30 seconds relative. So that would be something that she would want to focus on. Okay, then for back squat, we have our back squat multiplier, which we don't touch because that's based on your age. Our optimal back squat would be 181 pounds, and she back squatted 145 pounds. So I don't know for sure if she knew that if that was a 1 rep max or if that was a 3 rep max or 5 rep max, but she can always update that. So again, don't touch this column, results compared minus 36 pounds. So something you would want to focus on. And then we have the same thing for bench press. Okay. And look at these columns are even going to come up green or red, depending on if she hit her target. And then same thing for deadlift. Okay. So does that make sense, Allison? Does that show the columns that I want to put that in?
Yes, that does help. I don't know if it's possible to like highlight the columns where we actually put our numbers in, like make them like blue or something, so that when we're scrolling
Yeah.
through, it's easier to find out where we put our numbers in.
Yeah.
But that
That's
helps.
not something I can personally do, but I know there's some really smart people that can do that. Yes, we'll do
Awesome.
that. We'll put that in on the, so we don't mess up the spreadsheet, right? Right. Awesome. Okay. Ooh, good question by Dar. How much growth in our lifts is realistic over a few months? Okay, so this is cool because it's very variable. What I find with maybe just before I answer Dar's question, this week to get your chance to win prizes, you have to fill out your scorecard. You have to complete your benchmarks and you have to watch the presentation. Next week, we have VO2, so some endurance benchmarks, and we have our mobility benchmarks. Okay, now I'll go to Dar's question. Okay, so how much is realistic? So depending on how new or experienced you are with lifting, that answer totally changes. So for me personally, because I've been lifting for 15 years consistently, I would say that like 1% is like still a stretch over a 3 to 6 month period of time. For a new lifter, let's say you bench pressed 100 pounds. I would say that we break our phases up into quarters. I would say that in a quarter, you can increase that, in my opinion, easily by 5%. So 100 to 105 pounds. If you hit the Wednesday workouts, if you hit some of those other key areas of focus with protein, with recovery, with all of that. So 5% is a very, very realistic number. Let's say quarterly in a training block, in a 12-week training block, let's say like anywhere from 1 to 5%. So in a year, you could increase, if you're a really experienced lifter, by 5%, or you could increase anywhere from like 15 to 20%. Hope that answers your question, Dar. Especially with squat, bench, and deadlift, because yes, there's a lot of technique involved with them, but they're not like super, super technical. So it really just comes down to strength. Okay, Claudia, question probably on my math. Why is the deadlift body weight multiplier 1.25 for everyone in the female tab for deadlift? I feel like for the other multiplier change based on age, why not for this one? I think that is a great question, Claudia, and something we need to edit or modify in the spreadsheet. Thank you. We'll change it so it matches that same 1% per year variable. Okay. And it might just be showing up wrong and it might be working, but either way, we'll double check. So we have two things to do the spreadsheet. One, we'll highlight the columns we want you to input your numbers in. And two, we want you to, we need to edit or confirm that the multiplier works. Makes sense. Any other questions before we wrap it up? That was great, guys. Thank you for the awesome examples that I got to go through. Hopefully that helped clarify some of the benchmarks and how to use the charts. So excited to build off of these and keep building those strength numbers. Thanks again. And if you have any other questions after we wrap this up, please feel free to ask. And I'll make sure to clip me Quinn's soundbite out so I can feature it on our Instagram page this weekend. Thank you, Me Quinn, for that. Bye, everyone. Thank you.